All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Jim McGovern. I'm with Reliance Matrix. Been there about a year and a half. Been in the business about 35 years. So we're going to talk a lot about the disability, at least in the time we have, and the importance of it. Actually, my arm's probably a good example of why we need it. So we won't get into what I did there. This is a self-inflicted wound, but nonetheless, it did disable me for a short period. But the importance of disability and disability awareness, it actually stays very close to me in that I look at disability as one of the most important insurance products that we sell across the entire spectrum. And it's for very good reason that it's one of the only things that protects something that has absolutely no guarantee attached to it, which is your paycheck. And the paycheck is what represents a lot of people's livelihood in keeping their home, keeping their cars, keeping their families fed. The reason why it's very personal to me is that I've seen it throughout my life with either other people or I've seen it happen within my own family where something occurs, nobody had disability insurance, and now they have a problem. And so then what do? They go to their personal network, right, which is family and friends. I need help, I need some money, I need a loan, and that's not the time to ask for it, right? Because that's the least likely time you're going to be able to repay. So at Reliance, the thing I'm most proud about at Reliance is how hard we work to address that issue itself, as well as all of the leaves that our people are encountering now. So COVID revealed an enormous gap in the marketplace, right? When everything shut down and we had probably 25% of the working force with absolutely no paycheck coming in. So that created an onslaught of legislation, right? That's when the federal government jumps in and says, okay, we'll fix it. So all of a sudden they start coming in, right? We had FML, which that's job protection, but now we have paid FML. And you could have statutory plans on top of your paid FML. Now, on top of that, you can have a different city plan, and you could even have a county or municipal plan. So one employer, even a small employer of 10, 12, 15 lives, they could have upwards of 3, 4 different leave type plans they have to administer just so people can have some semblance of protection. So to me, that probably highlights how important it really is, because we're trying really hard to protect everybody when they have nothing at the worst time in their life. So one of the things that we at Reliance have done over the years is really built up a really nice way of protecting people, whether it's any kind of a leave, but we did have a major gap. So one of our biggest industries is the healthcare industry. So we do a lot of insurance for hospitals, right? And one of our gaps was that we couldn't protect everybody within the hospital, but we did have a partner, MGIS, that does a wonderful job of protecting them. So we actually struck a great partnership with them last year, and now we're partnered with MGIS where they distribute to the physicians, specifically the healthcare sector of dentists, veterinarians, and the physicians for that critical disability insurance through us, which is an excellent partnership so far. But more important probably to you is the small business. So we have our Smart Choice, many of you might be familiar with. That's we call it the 2 to 19. I really look at it as the 2 to 9, because the second you get to 10 lives, everybody's competing for that one, right? But the 2 to 9 and then our 10 plus. So just so you know, starting July 1st, my job is to completely remodel that marketplace, the under 100 for Reliance Matrix. So starting July 1st, the new product will be rolling out, and we will be able to turn around a quote in one day. The rep assigned to you will get you a re-rate immediately, and the plan designs will be, say, an LTD plan, which is what we're speaking of, is up to a 10,000 max, and you could get up to ONOC 65. All of these things are going through. We've already underwritten this, but they are specifically individually underwritten. These aren't shelf products and these aren't shelf rates. These are actually the individual custom, which is what you want to really be able to compete in the marketplace. So that all starts July 1st. Very excited about that, but more excited about our MGIS partnership, which has been tremendously successful so far. And I'll turn it over to Kurt.
Thanks, Jim. I know most everybody in here, but for reminders, I'm Kurt Meyer. I'm the Chief Sales Officer at MGIS, and thanks again so much for having us here. Always enjoy getting together with everybody. I can't think of a better time to be talking to the healthcare sector about disability. Okay? And the reason is the thing that keeps the healthcare sector executives up most at night is no longer how do they finance their operations. It's staffing. They cannot hire and retain doctors, dentists, vets, nurses, you name it. Their biggest issue is being able to have those people to actually run their business, right? Well, and as you people know more than I do, right? One of the most important things to the healthcare sector, doctors, dentists, vets, is disability coverage, right? They actually really understand it, they value it, right? In fact, in a recent AMA survey where they were asked how important is the right type of disability coverage to you, right? Nearly 80% said it's essential. Not a nice to have, not, it's essential to them, right? Now, what's interesting, and I credit a lot of you folks in this room for doing it, what they understand in defining the right type of disability coverage is IDI, right? It really is designed for them, it's geared towards them. They've also learned, and if you want to take credit for this, you're welcome to, that typical group LTD really has very little value to them. It just doesn't, right? So how do we combine what we know about the doctors and their focus on disability coverage with what we now know is the number one issue for the healthcare sector, which is staffing, right? To actually help that staffing issue. Right? I'd submit it's bringing to them a comprehensive disability program that they consider as part of their employee benefits, right? Something that's starting with a base of IDI, whether it's a GSI program, hey, maybe it's time for reverse Congos to come back. Right? Oh, thanks. All right, so we start with that, but then since we know that the doctors, the dentists, the healthcare providers don't value group LTD, you're really helping your brokers help their clients if they're recommending typical group LTD. I'd submit no, right? Because there's no value that's perceived by the doctors at that point in time. And that's where what we do in our unique niche combines so well with what you do, right? As you're aware, right, our Group Disability Guard product, right, you'll never hear me call it Group LTD, our Disability Guard product, as well as our high limit program, right, the excess risk stuff through Lloyd's, is all designed to mirror the key provisions of IDI, the stuff that the doctors, the dentists, the vet truly value, right? So if you bring in and help your brokers bring in a comprehensive disability program, right, that combines the best of what you do with IDI, along with our Disability Guard product and our high limit product, right, that mirrors those key provisions, right, suddenly you're able to bring to your broker a program they can take to their client that really can help them with that key issue, which is staffing, right? Now, we've got to help them learn how to present it. We've got to help the organizations learn how to talk about it, right? So they get the full value of it. But again, that comprehensive program, I think there couldn't be a better time in the healthcare industry for what you do and what you help your brokers do. And we're just happy to be part of it. So thank you very much.